Hello and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let's begin with previous day question. The term GPS spoofing, often seen in the news, is best described as a method of accelerating GPS signal processing to improve accuracy, a cyber attack where fake GPS signals are generated to mislead navigation systems, a technique used to boost the signal strength of GPS satellites, or a process used to improve GPS signal reception in remote areas. The correct answer is option B. GPS spoofing is a form of cyber attack in which false GPS signals are generated to mislead an aircraft's navigation systems, posing serious risk to flight safety and mission success. GPS spoofing takes advantage of the weak signals sent by satellites, which are easy to overpower. Attackers transmit stronger fake signals that mimic real satellite data. The GPS receiver locks onto these counterfeit signals, mistaking them for genuine. This causes the device to display incorrect location data, misleading navigation systems. During Operation Brahma, the Indian Air Force claimed that its transport aircraft delivering relief to quake-hit Myanmar faced global positioning system spoofing. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Before moving forward, Drishti IAS in Noida, the IAS GS Foundation course covering both prelims and mains, the offline batches admissions are open. English medium batch is starting from 7th of May and the Hindi medium batch admissions are open. For more information, give us a call at 87501 87501. Let's begin with today's session. River Cities Alliance, which is often seen in the news, is best described as a government program focused on the preservation of wetlands in rural India, an initiative aimed at promoting river-sensitive urban planning and creating urban river management plans in Indian cities, a global alliance formed to promote sustainable urban development in all cities with rivers, a private organization dedicated to the development of clean energy projects near riverbanks in India. The correct answer is option B. The National Mission for Clean Ganga has approved a master plan for the River Cities Alliance to promote river-sensitive urban planning through capacity building, knowledge sharing and expert guidance in India's cities. River Cities Alliance has been conceptualized to help river cities in India maintain this symbiotic relationship with their rivers. Launched in 2021 with 30 river cities, the RCA has now expanded to 145 plus cities. It is currently being managed by the National Mission for Clean Ganga under the Ministry of Jal Shakti and the National Institute of Urban Affairs under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It supports the creation of urban river management plans. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements. It is located between the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. It is separated from the Sea of Azov by the Tonk of Arabat Sandspit. Its Sevastopol port is essential for Russia's access to warm water ports and holds significant strategic military value. Which of the following location best matches the above description? Crimea, Sochi, Odessa or Batumi? The correct answer is option A. Crimea is an autonomous region that was part of Ukraine prior to 2014, located between the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Crimea is linked to the mainland by the narrow Perekop Isthmus and is separated from the Sea of Azov by the Tonka of Arabat Sandspit. It links to Russia via the Kerch Strait and the Crimean Bridge. Russia's coastline spans over 37,000 kilometers, but much of it lies north of the Arctic Circle, where sea ice makes many ports unusable in winter. Crimea's geography, particularly the Sevastopol port, is essential for Russia's access to warm water ports and holds significant strategic military value for projecting power in the Black Sea and Mediterranean. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Next, with respect to the Revive Our Ocean initiative, consider the following statements. The initiative was launched to promote marine conservation through the creation of marine protected areas. It targets 7 countries, including the UK, Portugal, and India, for empowering local communities to manage MPAs. The initiative aligns with the 30 into 30 target of the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework to protect 30% of the oceans by 2030. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. The correct answer is option B. The Revive Our Ocean initiative was launched by NGO Dynamic Planet to promote marine conservation through marine protected areas, hence statement 1 is correct. The initiative targets 7 countries: UK, Portugal, Greece, Turkey, Philippines, Indonesia, Mexico. But India is not a part of this initiative, hence statement 2 is not correct. The initiative aligns with the 30 into 30 target of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework to protect 30% of the oceans by 2030. Hence statement 3 is correct. Hence option B is the correct answer. Next, with reference to the election process of the Deputy Speaker in Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. First, the Deputy Speaker performs the Speaker's duties when the Speaker's post is vacant. He is elected by an absolute majority of all members of the House. The Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha does hold office at the pleasure of the President. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. The correct answer is option A. The election process for the Deputy Speaker is governed by the rules of procedure and conduct of business in the Lok Sabha. Article 95 Clause 1 states that the Deputy Speaker performs the Speaker's duties when the post is vacant. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Deputy Speaker is elected by a simple majority of members present and voting, not by an absolute majority of all members of the House. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. As per Article 95 Clause 2 of the Constitution of India, the Deputy Speaker continues in office until the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statement related to RNA silencing. It is a plant's natural defense mechanism where double-stranded RNA triggers the immune system to destroy viral RNA. Post-induced gene silencing involves the use of RNA sprays to enhance plant immunity without any genetic modification. Which of the following statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. RNA silencing is indeed a natural defense mechanism in plants where double-stranded RNA triggers the plant's immune system to respond to viral infections. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Host-induced gene silencing, which is a human-induced genetically modified technology, does not involve the use of RNA sprays. Instead, Hicks genetically modified plants to produce virus-fighting dRNA, providing continuous protection against the virus. On the other hand, spray-induced gene silencing is the method that involves spraying RNA onto plants to trigger the plant's immune response without any genetic modification. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements with respect to the Indus Waters Treaty. The IWT, signed in 1960, allocates the eastern rivers Ravi, Vyas, Satluj to India and the western rivers Indus, Jhelum, Chenab to Pakistan. The treaty allows India to build run-of-the-river hydroelectric projects on the western rivers subject to design restrictions. The IWT has an exit clause, meaning either India or Pakistan can unilaterally terminate the treaty. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. The correct answer is option B. Indus Waters Treaty was signed in 1960. The IWT assigned the eastern rivers Vyas, Ravi and Satluj to India and the western rivers Indus, Jhelum, Chenab to Pakistan, with India permitted limited non-consumptive uses, example hydropower, on western rivers. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The IWT permits India to develop run-of-the-river hydropower projects on western rivers with design constraints to ensure minimal impact on Pakistan's water flow. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The Permanent Indus Commission handles initial disputes, but unresolved issues escalate to a World Bank appointed neutral expert or court of arbitration under Article 9. The IWT has no exit clause and modifications require mutual consent via a duly ratified treaty as per Article 12, Clause 3. Unilateral suspension is not legally recognized, hence statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements with respect to the India AI mission. The India AI Compute Capacity Pillar aims to develop a robust AI computing infrastructure equipped with advanced graphics processing units. It is implemented by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology through the India AI Independent Business Division under Digital India Corporation. The mission mandates that all AI models developed under it must be open source to ensure accessibility. How many of the above statements is or are not correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. The correct answer is option A. The India AI mission was approved on March 7, 2024 with a budget of rupees 10,371.92 crore to foster AI innovation over 5 years. The India AI Compute Capacity Pillar aims to develop a robust AI computing infrastructure equipped with advanced graphics processing units. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The mission is implemented by the India AI Independent Business Division under the Digital India Corporation, overseen by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Hence, statement 2 is correct. While open source AI is encouraged for accessibility, the mission does not mandate it, allowing both open source and proprietary models based on use cases. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. The mission promotes public-private partnerships and includes initiatives like the India AI Application Development Initiative, which sources problem statements from central and state governments for AI solutions in sectors like healthcare and governance. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements with respect to UNICEF. UNICEF's initiatives include the promotion of immunization and clean water access for children. It was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965 for its humanitarian efforts. It is funded entirely by voluntary contributions from governments, organizations, and individuals. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. The correct answer is option C. United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund promotes programs like immunization, clean water, sanitation, and nutrition to improve children's health and well-being. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965 for its work in fostering global solidarity and providing aid to children. Hence, statement 2 is correct. UNICEF provides both short-term emergency relief, example during disasters, and long-term development programs such as education and health initiatives. It relies entirely on voluntary contributions from governments, private sector partners, foundations, and individuals, and no funding from the UN budget. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements with respect to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. CPEC is a flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative aimed at enhancing connectivity between China and Pakistan. The corridor connects Gwadar Port in Balochistan to Xinjiang in China through a network of roads, railways, and pipelines. All CPEC projects are fully funded by grants from China with no loans involved. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. The correct answer is option B. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative aimed at enhancing connectivity between China and Pakistan. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Belt and Road Initiative, launched by China in 2013, is a global infrastructure and economic development strategy aimed at enhancing connectivity and trade across Asia, Europe, and Africa. CPEC spans approximately 3,000 kilometers linking Gwadar Port in Balochistan, Pakistan to Xinjiang, China via highways, railways, and pipelines. Hence, statement 2 is correct. CPEC projects are financed through a mix of loans, investments, and some grants, with significant commercial loans from Chinese banks, increasing Pakistan's debt burden. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next, consider the following statements with respect to vaccines. Vaccines stimulate the immune system to produce antibodies without causing the disease. All vaccines provide lifelong immunity after a single dose. mRNA vaccines use a small piece of the virus's genetic material to instruct cells to produce a protein that triggers an immune response. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. The correct answer is option B. Vaccines work by mimicking an infection, promoting the immune system to produce antibodies without causing the actual disease. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Not all vaccines confer lifelong immunity. Some, such as the tetanus vaccine, require periodic booster doses, while immunity from others, like the influenza vaccine, can diminish over time. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. mRNA vaccines use a small piece of the virus genetic material to instruct cells to produce a protein that triggers an immune response. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now it's time for the practice question. Consider the following statements with respect to the Asia-Africa Summit. The first Asia-Africa Summit, also known as the Bandung Conference, was held in 1955 in Indonesia to promote Afro-Asian solidarity. The Bandung Conference of 1955 adopted the 10 principles of Bandung, promoting peaceful coexistence and non-alignment. The Bandung Conference led to the formation of the African Union. How many of the above statements is or are not correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. Send the answer of this question in the comments below. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notification.